Hello and welcome back to The Growth Show. I'm your host, Whitney Bateson, and I am thrilled to introduce Nadalie Bardo to the podcast today. So Nadalie simply loves Pinterest. As a blogger, she achieved 1 million views on Pinterest in her first month, organically grew her email list to 24,000 subscribers, and gained thousands of happy customers. With 8 years of Pinterest marketing experience, she has taught over 7,000 blogs, brands, and businesses through her online courses and coaching. As your pin coach, Nadalie is here to help you increase your traffic, grow your audience, and boost your sales for free with Pinterest. No ads and really no subscriptions required, as we're going to talk through. So in today's episode, Nadalie is going to break down why Pinterest is so important. If you have been maybe saying, oh, it's just another social media platform, she is going to debunk that myth for you today. Also tell you how to get started, how to be successful on the platform, and give you a little pep talk too. So let's get into today's conversation. Hello, welcome to the show, Nadalie. I'm so excited to have you here.
So happy to be chatting with you, Whitney. Feel like I was literally there when you were trying to think of a name for this podcast. You remember?
I think we were like either traipsing through the streets of Singapore or it's yeah. So we are colleagues, but also friends, and have been met up in some other cool places in the world too, and support one another. And I just love that, from like Bali to Asia and sharing dinner in Colombia. You made a awesome penne alla vodka in Colombia. Yes.
Good times.
So excited to have you on the podcast. And you are based in Canada. So yeah, coming from Canada.
From the north.
Love it. Surviving the winter, and it's getting there though. Like we're recording at the end of March. So weather is warming up. I'm in Argentina, so it's the opposite. It's getting colder here, but we still have a lot of sun. So that's good. As long as there's sun, right?
It's true. We just need to I just need to wake up and for it not to be dark outside. These are just bare minimum requirements.
Yeah.
Some days it's just so dark. You're like, is it even morning?
Yeah. Maybe I should stay in bed until it's light out because this doesn't feel natural. Yeah. I'll be hoping for your daylight soon. Okay. So let's dive in because we have a lot to cover. And this isn't a topic that we have talked about a lot on the show, which is Pinterest. And I'm just so excited to get into it with you. So for someone completely new to Pinterest marketing, can you break down what Pinterest is and like how it actually works?
For sure. So in its own words, Pinterest is a visual search engine. So a lot of analogies are used typically when explaining how Pinterest functions. So think about if Instagram and Google got together and had a baby, right? And that baby had the visual aesthetics of Instagram where, it's all about the image. Maybe nowadays it's about the reel, but it's about the image. And when it comes to the search engine side, it's about the search functionality. So it's not so much about hashtags, it's about keywords. Okay. So Pinterest is a visual search engine where, in my opinion, the image is important, but even more important, like what the foundations of this platform is built on, is search. So it's a search engine. And where it differentiates a lot more from social media, which it's often lumped in together with social media, but it's not social media because for one, you don't even have to be social on Pinterest. Right. Like you don't message people there. That's not a thing. You can, but it's not a thing. Yeah. It is more about the search functionality, right? And just optimizing your pin, which is either the image or video that you post on Pinterest, that typically has a link. So where Pinterest is different than, say, Instagram or TikTok, for example, is that, or even Facebook nowadays, I feel is hiding the link or making things unclickable for some reason. Pinterest is all about the click, right? Okay. Your link is attached directly to your image or your video pin, whichever you're posting. It's really about images nowadays. I think Pinterest had this weird time where it was like trying to be like TikTok, where it was very much like pushing videos, right? but it has come to its senses and realized that we're about images over here. And that's okay, right? So you don't even have to worry about posting videos on Pinterest. So it's about your image. It's about making sure you're targeting the right keywords. So just like maybe you're used to creating content, a blog post, podcast, YouTube video, all of these are content. You're creating your content around a keyword, right? That's how someone is going to find you. And that functionality is on Pinterest.
That's so interesting to differentiate in that way, because I think with these other platforms, and I'll just talk about social media and not necessarily Google, but we're taught, even with LinkedIn too, that really these platforms want people to stay on the platform, and they punish you a little bit for putting a link. Like Instagram, it's still, you can still never have a clickable link in the caption of a post. Like it's just not happening. And they want you to be there. They want you to interact and comment, and the caption is really important. And so I think it's resetting our framing that in this sense, on this platform, it's all about actually sending people to a different destination, and it's totally okay. And that's what Pinterest wants. And you can optimize in order for people to go to those places.
Yeah. And there seemed to have been this awkward period where Pinterest was leaning into those videos and like trying to keep people on the platform. But it seems, like I said, that they're coming to their senses, and it's that step between, right? Think about like how you use Pinterest in your personal life, right? I think a lot of us are familiar with Pinterest from a personal perspective, but not necessarily from a business or the creator perspective, right?
Yeah.
But once I think you analyze how we use it in our own personal lives, you can see where you can fit in as a creator, right? So for example, maybe you use it to find recipes. Maybe you use it for planning your vacations or your home decor or your gift ideas or your wardrobe, right? It's the place for your dreams, your goals, your ideas, your planning, right? Many people create shopping lists on there. So there's lots of really interesting statistics out there about Pinterest users in general and how they differ from users on other platforms in this. And it really just boils down to they're doers, right? Pinterest users want to find you. They want to find the answers, and they're going to save your pin to their boards, and they're going to click and go read your blog post. Maybe they're going to go subscribe to your podcast. They're going to go buy your printable whatever. Maybe they'll enroll in your course or book a coaching call, right? Because they're used to clicking and taking action, right? And checking out. And I think that's what makes it different from other social media, even though it's not social media platforms, is that they are trained to click. They know how to click. And I think on every other platform, either the click is going away or they literally can't click.
Yeah. And even with Google, let's talk about that for a second. There's the AI generated results now too. So even if you are trying to optimize, they're trying to just keep you there. And also then with the algorithms changing with Google too, Pinterest, it sounds, can just be this other platform that can be a way for you to generate that organic traffic, because Google is also Googling.
I was first and foremost a blogger. So like my blog is over 8 or 9 years old now. And with those crazy Google updates in 2024, I lost 80% of my organic Google traffic.
Oh my gosh.
And that happened to many creators. Many creators had all of their content just completely wiped out from search results, and they lost all their income. But thankfully, I have Pinterest. And I may have lost practically all of my Google traffic, but I have my Pinterest traffic. And my Pinterest traffic is more valuable than my Google traffic. Because right now, like Mediavine, for my website, for example, my Pinterest traffic is 3 times as valuable as my Google traffic. So I'm earning 3 times as much per click than I would from Google. To anyone who's maybe ad income is an important part of your revenue for your business, and you lost your Google traffic, Pinterest clicks are 2 to 3 times more valuable than a click from Google. That just shows that Google has lost a lot of its luster. in terms of for marketing these days. And it's a lot better over
Yeah.
on Pinterest.
Yeah, for sure. That's really interesting. And so can Pinterest have these great results for all types of businesses and niches, or are there kind of like specific ones where it really shines?
So for sure, that's a really wonderful question. I think on Pinterest, there are around 20 top categories. That's what they call niches over on Pinterest.
Okay.
And the top ones are going to be the ones that you think of when you think of Pinterest, right? They're fashion, beauty, home decor.
Mm-hmm.
Recipes used to be at the top of that list, but it's slowly, I think it's around the third or the fourth most popular category on Pinterest. But
Okay.
that doesn't mean that if you don't fall under those like top four that you can't be successful.
Mm-hmm.
There are many creators in finances, in wellness, in health, in fitness,
Mm-hmm.
more niche categories that can have so much success on the platform. Like I myself run a niche site. I am not, my niche is like not even a category on Pinterest. It's a subcategory. Like it's a personal development site, which falls under education on Pinterest. And I've been able to build a successful blog through Pinterest for my little niche site.
Mm-hmm.
So even though I'm here and I'm not saying, hey, wellness is the top niche on Pinterest, don't let that discourage you that you cannot find success, because I think one of the beautiful parts about Pinterest is that you can find a way to make your very niche topic, whether it's wellness, health, fitness, nutrition, those types of topics,
Mm-hmm.
you can make it apply to bigger categories. And
Mm-hmm.
it's, even if I just think about like wellness, it's not just something that's super small and specific, it impacts everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get creative in your content, you can find ways to connect and plug in to those more like bigger audiences,
Mm-hmm.
because it impacts everything. It impacts your finances. It impacts the goals you're able to set and what you're able to achieve in your life. I think don't ever have this I'm too small to be successful on Pinterest mindset,
Mm-hmm.
because that's just not true.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. Like it is about just finding those ways and getting started and navigating through that. And would you say that it's for both service-based businesses and people who are selling products, or is it weighted in more one area than the other?
Yeah, so service-based, I believe you mean the more location-based businesses.
Or like you're offering even virtual nutrition counseling services
Mm,
or a therapist, for example. They're not necessarily offering a course or doing ad revenue, but they're selling some kind of services.
for sure. Anyone and everyone can be successful on Pinterest from this perspective. Like if we think demographically, who's using Pinterest? So over half of the users are US based. And I'm sure you all, like even for myself as a Canadian, the majority of my sales are made in the US, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like they're the ones with the purchasing power and most likely who is going to end up hiring you and working with you.
Mm-hmm.
The vast majority of users are women.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them fall into the millennial, and even like Gen Z is becoming like a bigger demographic on the platform. So if
Mm-hmm.
your customers align with that, and that's not to say there aren't older women or men on Pinterest, I'm
Mm-hmm.
just telling you who the vast majority
Yeah.
of users are. I think when it comes to like, how can I use Pinterest to get results in my business or my coaching, my services, whatever I'm offering, it's really about figuring out, okay, how can I show up on this platform consistently? What do I have to share?
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm assuming you encourage your audience that content creation is probably the number one way that you're going to build a community of customers and clients and people who will know, love, and buy from you, book you out, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how we show up. That's how we prove our authority. That's how we build connections, get subscribers. All those amazing things happen when we create content, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I encourage you to create content, whether, you choose your medium. We're going to do audio, podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do physical content, blog posts.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to do videos, YouTube, right? And Heck, you can do all three, right? Convert that YouTube video into a podcast episode, into a blog post. There's so many tools out there right now that make that so easy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. So whatever it is you want to create, you're going to design some pin images and you're going to share that to Pinterest, right? And then the next step, I think we can't always think about Pinterest on its own. We have to think about what are the behaviors of the person when they click on our pin and they go to our website. Have we set it up to convert?
Yeah.
Have we set it up to capture, to lead capture, right? Because I even like with my students and my clients, it's always, I want to get more traffic. I want to get more sales. And I'm like, okay, but is your site optimized for those things? Because those things don't happen on Pinterest. They happen on your website. And I'm sure you have other episodes that dive into things like that.
Yeah.
So you got to look at it holistically, right?
It's Google, but Google, you're not going to actually make the sale on those external platforms. You need your website, just like anything, to actually be set up to make those conversions. So having the lead magnets, having the calls to action, all the stuff that we talk about, it's got to be there. But Pinterest can be that source of traffic that we so desperately all want.
Yeah, it is the top of your funnel, right? So for sure, like I think it doesn't matter what direction you want to point people to. If you're like, hey, I want to grow my audience for my podcast, great. Hey, I want to have more people sign up for my free consultation, great. That all happens. I want people on my email list, amazing. Yeah. All of that can happen through Pinterest.
That's awesome. Yeah. So what are the first things that someone should do when they're just getting started with Pinterest marketing?
For sure. So number one, you need to get yourself a Pinterest business account. It's not a big deal. It's completely free. All you have to do is just go sign up for one. So literally just Google Pinterest business account and, it's going to take you to the right place. You might be, this is always a follow-up question. Hey, I have a personal account. Should I use that or should I go create a new one? So I would say if you've been using your personal account as your pseudo business account, why not convert it? Or maybe you're not really using it for personal reasons anymore. Or say you already have the username you want, or you have a lot of followers. If you're saying yes to any of those, then I say go convert it. Just Google convert Pinterest account and it will take you to the right place. Then going forward, all of your personal stuff, you're just going to put on a secret board where no one but you can see it. Okay. So that's
all of my outfit ideas go over there. Okay. Got it.
Tuck it away. Nobody needs to see that. And then you want to, I would say, start at the keyword level. Okay. So I think a lot of people give bad advice with Pinterest when they think it's all about the pin. It is about the pin, but unless you're targeting the right keywords, no one's going to see that pin because it's a search engine, right?
Yeah.
So start with keywords and you can use the Pinterest search bar. I think what's also unique about Pinterest, unlike say Google, where a lot of SEO experts will tell you, you need to go buy Key Search or
SEMrush, all these expensive. Yeah.
You don't need any of that when you're getting started on Pinterest. Okay. You can use the Pinterest search bar to start finding your keywords. If they show up in the search results, that means, hey, people are searching for this. There's also this tool called Pinterest Trends, which can also help you to find keywords. But know that you're probably not going to find that deep of a bench, especially in the wellness space, for keywords in Pinterest Trends. But don't worry, that does not mean no one is searching for it. The keywords that are there are specific, and I honestly feel like it's very wrapped up in the type of ads that people run. So it just doesn't mean, just because you don't find your keyword there, it doesn't mean that it's not a keyword. So just use the search bar. That's where I would start with finding my keywords. Like literally just open up a spreadsheet, start writing down ideas. And this is like another tip I have for you. It's okay. You can have some success if you just post what you have on Pinterest. But if you create for Pinterest, you will have even more success. So what do I mean by that? Okay, yeah, you got blog posts, YouTube, and podcast episodes that you want to throw up there. Maybe you got some freebies. Great. Find the right keyword that fits those. But going forward, search for the keyword, then go create. And especially if you've lost your Google traffic and you don't see it coming back anytime soon, if that's true, why is Google still your priority for the keywords you're targeting? This is a question I have with myself all the time. Like, why am I searching for Google keywords when Google took away all my traffic? When I'm getting all my traffic from Pinterest, shouldn't I be prioritizing my Pinterest keywords? So you want to prioritize what's getting you results and make that keyword search be the top of your workflow for creating.
Okay.
And you will have so much more success. Okay. So you have your business account, you know what your keywords are, you went and you created your content. I want you to go design pins, right? And for this, I either encourage you to just buy some pin templates, or you can use the ones in Canva or go opt in for a freebie, whatever. But the trick here is customize it to your branding. I know, Whitney, you're like, branding, yes. Your branding is immaculate. There's no other word for it. It's yours. Perfection. And you don't have to aim for perfection, but
consistency is like all I ask for.
What are your colors? What are your fonts? What's the vibe? Just stick with it, right? It's a lot. You will save so much time when you're no longer questioning what something would look like, because you know what it looks like because you have your branding, right? So have, say, 3 to 5 pin templates. And for every link that you have to share, you're going to design multiple pins. And then you can go schedule or post those out. You don't even need to pay for a scheduler. Are y'all hearing this? I'm telling you, you don't even need to pay for anything. The business account is free. The
Canva templates are free. The keyword research is free.
You can get some free templates. You don't need to pay for a scheduler. It doesn't cost you anything but your time. And to me, that's like amazing. I encourage you to take your pins that you've designed. And of course, you want to make sure they're clear, that people understand. And if you're like, I don't know what my pin should look like, go look at the search results for the keywords you're trying to target and meet the assignment. Okay. Then go schedule those babies out. And when we're scheduling or posting our pins, there are some couple rules that you want to keep in mind. And don't worry, I've got a free gift that's going to help you with that. But you want to keep in mind that Pinterest is a search engine. So for every pin, just like on every other platform, there's a caption. On Pinterest, they're called descriptions. Every pin has a title and a description. So this is more in line with like your Open Graph metadata, like your Open Graph title and your Open Graph description. Anyone who's ever published, you know that when you post a page or a blog post or a podcast, you have that little snippet that tells the search engine or the social media site is being shared to what that content's about, right? So it's the same for Pinterest, right? So, you know, your pin title is 100 characters. Your pin description is up to 800 characters now. And this is where you're infusing your keywords, right? This is how we tell the search engine what this pin is about, right? So write a catchy pin title just like you would for a blog post or a podcast episode title. And same thing for your description. Tell the people what is there. And even if a person isn't reading it, just make sure that the keyword is there and the related keywords are there so that Pinterest, the search engine, knows who to show your pin to, right? And I'd say like design multiple pins per link. Don't just share it once. You put so much energy and effort into making that content. Don't just share it once and forget it. Design multiple pins and space them out. I encourage my people to wait a week before you share the same link again, just so you don't appear spammy. But that's also just going to give your content longevity. It's going to make sure it keeps showing up in your audience's feed and in search results over time, which is just a good thing to do, right? So many of us create the thing. Maybe we send one email about it. Maybe we post it once on Instagram and we forget it exists. Don't do that.
Okay. All right.
I'm sorry, Whitney.
Yeah. I feel seen, feel attacked. Yep. Yeah. No, because you spend all of that time on content. I know anyone listening, it's a lot to put out the content, but the repurposing of something that you're already putting out there. I talk a lot about email marketing. And so you're already writing emails to your list. I encourage write the blog and then have an email that is talking about the blog. And so this is just one other layer to put on there, is just to then have some pins and you can be lifting the content a little bit from, if you're struggling with the description, like use a little bit of the content from the blog or the email, make sure those keywords are in there. Don't reinvent the wheel. Guess that's the more as well, but also repurpose the heck out of that content and keep sharing it as time goes on.
For sure, because it's still relevant and it's still of value. We don't always have to go back to the blank page at all, like really and truly. And if you're struggling with pin descriptions, you can steal my formula.
Okay.
I always ask a question. So, for example, struggling to get started with Pinterest, need an easy, are you a Pinterest marketing beginner? Click here for, maybe it's like the 5 easy steps to kickstart your Pinterest marketing strategy and start getting clicks to your website. Plus, download my free Pinterest best practices cheat sheet with the top 7 rules you need to get the most clicks from Pinterest. That's what I do. Ask a question, say click here for what, insert your keyword phrase, and embellish a bit more. Tell them more what they're going to get. Use some related keywords, and then you can say plus, mention the free thing, or book a free 15-minute consultation. Tell them what the free thing is, and I've been using that for 8 years, and it's been going.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, and so we're bringing in that keyword. We're doing all those things to really sell it to people, because at the end of the day, we don't want them to just save that pin. That's nice if they save it, but what we really want them to do is click and go to that location and do what they're going to do. So what would you say in terms, I mean, you've given some like really great advice in terms of getting started and some tips to avoid and things to avoid and all of that. What would you say is like the secret to success, or any secrets to success on Pinterest that you've seen over the years?
For sure. I recently wrote an email about this, and I honestly do believe the secret to success is 2-part. One is consistency. You've got to keep showing up, right? Don't just do this and quit in a month. That's not how we get results, right? So imagine if you only made 1 blog post or 1 podcast episode, like that's not enough, unfortunately, right? You got to keep showing up. So I think in order to remain consistent is to pace yourself. There are a lot of experts out there who are telling people you need to pin 20 times a day. You need to pin 30 times a day. And I'm like, listen, it's not 2019. You do not need to do all of that. You do not need to do all of that. I've been pinning once or twice a day, and I have millions of views and thousands of clicks every single month. It's not a requirement for my niche site. Let's remember, right? So don't listen to those people, because all that is going to equal is you burning out. What is the benefit of you burning out? I need you to stay consistent and committed. And that's going to happen when it's manageable.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So don't listen to those people.
Okay.
Listen to me. Because I'm here to get you real results, and real results take time.
Yeah, okay.
And they require consistency and commitment. Just like any other platform, no super big secret there. And I would say that the second part of that is a commitment to improve. And us humans, you don't even have to work hard for that. All you have to do is keep trying, and you will get better at the thing. You know, and if the thing you're struggling right now is maybe even creating content is a struggle, how do you get better? You keep doing it.
Content. Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
if
yeah.
designing pins takes forever, how do you get better? You design more pins.
Yep.
Right? Like, the only way to get better is to do it more. So I feel like success on Pinterest boils down to those 2 things: is commitment to keep going and commitment to improve. And it's like, you don't even have to work hard for that. You just have to keep doing it. You will get faster. You will get better. That's how we were made. I don't know. That's just
it's just part of
human function.
Yeah.
You know? We get better at things.
Yeah. And we aren't like born perfect. Like, we aren't born knowing how to do all of the things. And I think as business owners, there's a lot thrown at us. I'm speaking to everyone here. There's a lot. And so it can be frustrating when something doesn't work right off the bat. There's a lot of self-doubt that comes in when we're trying new things, but all of this stuff is new for all of us at one point or another. And I think some of what I sometimes deal with is also being sure that, okay, if I'm committing to continuing to do this thing, I want to make sure it's the right thing. And I think that there's a lot of noise out there, and there's a lot of stuff of do this, do that. But some of these things that like we're talking about here, these are not a huge additional time commitment. And just think about if it could bring even an additional 100 visitors to your website every month. And that's like baseline. I'm thinking you're like, no, let's aim for 1,000 or something.
Yeah.
Imagine what that, by you just creating some pins for content that you're already planning to put out there, because that is what you're doing. And you know that as a business owner, you need to be marketing and putting out some content so people can have something to sink their teeth into and learn from you and continue have that, time to connect with you. If you can just be putting in this extra effort and layering this on to things you're already doing and putting in some kind of habit or system in place for you to consistently do this, just imagine in a couple months' time what that could mean for the growth of your business. It could potentially allow you to hire someone to help you do this moving forward. Just even a couple hours a week of someone maybe helping you publish that blog post, send that email out, repurpose that content. Like, imagine how you could make this grow if you were to just get started and take these first steps to get it off the ground, and that momentum that can build over time.
For sure. And trust me, it takes less time than you making those reels for Instagram. It takes less time than you making those TikToks. And I hear this all the time. Like, I know so many people who are doing the most and getting the least results. And I had to have this type of realization for myself. Like, I started a blog not knowing what the heck I was doing. I didn't know anything. I didn't know how to get traffic. I knew nothing. Oh, sweet baby Natalie. I think about it. So innocent, so fresh off the work assembly line. But like, I was like trying to do everything because everyone has advice on what you should be doing. Even people who know nothing were like, oh, you need to get on Instagram. And I'm like, you work in HR. What do you know? And I think we're programmed to think we need to be doing these things because we see all these people doing it. We think we need to be on TikTok. We need a Facebook group. We need to be on Threads. We need to be posting on Instagram. We need to be doing all these things. We need to and it's like, by you doing all those things, are you getting results or are you just getting tired? And if you go and you look at your analytics, is any of that leading to clicks? Is any of that leading to conversions? Or are you just so committed that I have to do everything? This is how it's done. Person is doing that and I should be doing that too. And like, you don't have to, especially if it's not working. Like, what if there was a platform that makes all of that irrelevant? I don't have a Facebook group. I don't post on Instagram. I don't post on TikTok. For this brand, I do not have a YouTube channel. All I do is post on Pinterest. That's all I do.
Yeah.
And I only spend time doing it. Like, I just scheduled pins. I spent like a couple of days. Like, I just dug in. I've got pins scheduled to August.
Wow.
I'm good. Like, I don't have to do anything. I don't even have to think about it.
Yeah.
So to me, and I keep saying this, but I firmly believe that until you solve your traffic and your traction issue, you are going to be spinning your wheels. Because if you are still worrying about nobody is reading my stuff, nobody is booking me, nobody knows I exist, how can you get to your next big move? How can you launch your podcast? How can you host an online summit or a bundle? How can you write a book? How can you start that membership? How can you go travel the world and be awesome and fun like Whitney? Like, how can you go do these things if all you stress about is nobody knows how to find me? Like, this is to me like the big question. And are you willing to feel a little bit of discomfort and to break the habits that are not serving you so that you can find a better way? And I honestly and truly believe that Pinterest is such a powerful platform because it just saves you from the BS that so many of us waste our time on, chasing vanity metrics that don't equal dollars. So yeah, that's all I got.
That was beautiful. I think that was the pep talk that a lot of us needed to hear. And so I appreciate you just going there, because I do agree. And I know that this is a challenge for so many business owners. And there are a lot of listeners out there too, who are looking to have a more passive business and have those goals and dreams of getting with Mediavine and having ads and having that revenue coming in. And that myth of passive, like, you still have to be putting in the work of doing the research to figure out what content you're putting out there and writing it and putting it out there. And I know you've done that work, and the pins are driving to content that is on your site that you've put out. But obviously that allows you to have a lot more time freedom, a lot more location freedom when,
I was out there.
Yeah.
I put in the work and I burnt out hard. And I was just like, you know what? After COVID, I'm like, I cannot be in this house anymore. So I went traveling for 18 months. And in that time period, I barely posted on Pinterest. Yes, I had pins scheduled out, but I did not publish any blog posts, any new ones anyways. I was not spending all my time working. Whitney can attest to this. Was I working?
No,
I had
you were taking, you were still, but you were taking some mental time too, just to re-examine and figure out, okay, you definitely mentioned the burnout.
I was still getting paid from Mediavine. So that is entirely possible. And I don't know, I'm in this place right now where I refuse to murder myself in the pursuit of success. Because what is the point? If you're falling apart and you're so stressed, that's why I don't have a job.
And I think there's so much to be said about what you were saying earlier about, we see these people out there and it looks like they're doing all the things. We don't know who they're paying, what they have behind the scenes, or what they're struggling with and all of that. And I think just recognizing that there can always be a better way. So there are those people out there, like I look up to Amy Porterfield and I respect her, but she does all these big ass live events. And I'm just like, I just don't want that for myself at all. And I guess also owning what it is that really feels good to you and not beating ourselves up that what someone is using to be successful, which of course what's online doesn't always equal success, but what we are interpreting doesn't mean that's your path. And I think that there are a lot of people who, especially service providers and healthcare professionals, where they just want to help their clients. They don't want to be dancing on TikTok and doing new trends and all of that. And so I think finding these other options out there where we can still be getting our knowledge out there. I know a lot of people, they really just want to blog. They want to share their knowledge and help people, but they don't necessarily feel comfortable being in front of a camera. Or I really struggle. I cannot do a 90-minute, one minute, or 90-second, 1 minute, little snippet. I can't do it. I don't. And so I think Pinterest is just this really great thing that people can investigate and get started with, like you're talking about, and get some really great results. And it doesn't require you necessarily to be in front of the camera, but you can if you want, and then send traffic to that too. Or you can just kind of test it out.
For sure. I think we have to play to our strengths. And obviously there's always discomfort in trying something new. If you don't want to do short form video, talking head videos, you don't have to. If you don't want to do YouTube videos, you don't have to. If you don't want to do podcast episodes, you don't have to. You don't want to write blog posts, guess what? You don't have to. And I think you just have to find the mediums that work for you. And I do think Pinterest is often known as the introvert's paradise, because you don't have to do anything in real time. You don't have to go live. You don't even have to comment or message people. You can just design your images, schedule them, and get them out and forget about it. And I think so many other platforms require all this algorithm hacking. Oh, it has to be posted live at this time, and then I have to go do this and 10 times and point west. I don't know. I'm not on these platforms because I can't do all that. That just jives with me. And I think This is also something I say all the time, but I'll say it here in case y'all have never heard it. But I think especially when we are, who's not strapped for time?
Mm-hmm.
And who doesn't have limited energy and resources, right? So to me, it makes sense to pour yourself into content that is both searchable and indexable.
Mm-hmm.
So by that, I mean, you want to prioritize the search engines. And what are they? Okay, we've got the traditional ones like Google and like Bing, for example, or DuckDuckGo, whatever, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
those are search engines. But also, so is YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
and so is Pinterest. So if you've got limited time and energy, invest in those platforms where your content will continue to be found long after you posted it. And I feel like one brand I built on Pinterest, and my Pinterest, the Your Pin Coach brand, which I'm here speaking to you as,
Mm-hmm.
that was built on YouTube, which is a search engine. And I feel like those are the platforms that reward you long after you've posted, as opposed to social media, where it's like this always hungry beast. And unless, you're giving it the exact portion and diet that it wants, it doesn't give you anything back.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not so great for being found. And like you mentioned, your traffic problem is a problem that you do need to solve if you want your business to grow and get to the next level. You can still, I just post my travel updates on and podcast episodes on Instagram, but that's it. Like, I just don't like being on there. So it can still be something for a little bit of relationship building, but then that way it doesn't have to be this, like you mentioned, like this bottomless pit, hungry monster of content you have to feed it that isn't necessarily attuned to what you want to say. You're having to appease whatever you think is going to appease the algorithm gods. And then that content goes away. To your point about prioritize searchable, indexable places. Yeah, that post, it lives on in your feed, but most people are not going to your grid and searching through, especially multiple posts. That's just not happening. You can take it or leave it on social media, but Pinterest is one of those platforms where it's actually allowing you to be searchable and found long after you post that content. That's a wonderful thing. Okay, you have given us so much. I hope people are feeling excited about Pinterest and seeing this as an opportunity. I have a feeling that there's probably a lot of listeners who just, maybe you knew about Pinterest a couple of years ago. Maybe, like you mentioned, you're using it I use it for recipes and wardrobe ideas, but it is actually a wonderful tool for growing your business. So I hope everyone's excited about it. I know I'm excited about it. And so I want to just wrap it up with what kind of resources do you have to help folks, or like, how can we help people kind of get there faster? How can you help people?
Yeah. So you can find me at yourpincoach.com. And one of the resources that Whitney's going to be sharing with you in the show notes is a link to my Pinterest best practices cheat sheet. I created this resource because I wanted to just bring together all the top rules. Like, to me, I say these are the secrets of Pinterest managers, people who are managing multiple accounts. Like, what are we whispering to each other in our secret Facebook groups? I wanted like you to have that and to know, okay, like this is a best practice. Do this, don't do that. So there's 7 rules. And it's not just a one pager. It does have a cute one pager that you can post to keep beside you and remember, do this, not that.
Love it.
But for each, I break it down. I explain why, and I give you examples. I also link to helpful YouTube videos in case you're like, okay, I need help with that. Pin descriptions and pin titles. I've got videos on all of that. So get the best practice cheat sheet. It's going to help you to get started with Pinterest. And then, check out my site. I have a free masterclass. I have a course. And if you need help, you can always reach out to me. I'm at Nadalie Bardo on everything. So but go to Your Pin Coach. It's a jumping off point.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, we definitely gave folks great framework today, but scratched the surface. So if you're listening and you're like, how do I find keywords and all of that's what this guide is going to help with. And then obviously going deeper with the courses and teaching and everything else. Oh, click the link. I love it. I love it. So thank you so much. Any parting words, Nadalie, before we wrap up?
Just get started. Just get started. Like, I feel like we can overthink and spend so much time debating, but
Yeah.
what if you just got started? And it's okay if monkey mind is telling you, oh, this isn't going to work. Oh, you should just go post on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. Say thank you, but no thank you. And
Yep.
keep rolling. Just push through those thoughts. And what if you got started? I always ask, like, where could you be in 3 months?
Mm-hmm.
Where could you be in 3 years?
Yep.
Amazing. It would be incredible. So just get started.
Love it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us in today's episode of The Growth Show. And a huge thanks for Nadalie for joining us and sharing all of your amazing expertise with us. I know I got really pumped up thinking about all the opportunities and possibilities when it comes to Pinterest and viewing it more as a search engine rather than just a social media platform, because as we heard from Nadalie, it is definitely not that. And there's just so many possibilities. And it's really, if you're already putting out content or you're wanting to put out content, but then you're worried about getting traffic to it, it just sounds like such a simple, low lift way to be growing your business and adding traffic. I just love that so much. So be sure to get your cheat sheet from Nadalie by going to the link in the show notes and connect with her, go to her website, all the platforms that she mentioned, check her out and learn more from Nadalie, because she's just a wealth of information when it comes to Pinterest. And if you are feeling inspired by what's possible with Pinterest, I know I'm definitely feeling inspired, so I'm sure you are as well, but you don't have that website yet. You know, we talked about it's all about the click. We need people to click and go somewhere, and that place is going to be your website. So we need to have your website. We need to have it optimized, as Nadalie and I were talking about as well. So if you're not feeling confident about that yet, then I have the solution for you. It's our program, the Wellness Pro website system, and we will be opening doors soon. So our program allows you to use one of our website templates that is completely customizable to your brand and your business and all of that, to get a beautiful WordPress website up and running that is optimized for conversions, whether you're selling services or group programs, or you want to be offering a book or any other kind of resource, as well as growing your email list. It gives you that, all of that teaching for how to add a freebie into your website and get that working for you. So if you're not really sure where to get started and you want to have a proven system behind you that's going to get you the results and allow you to launch your website quickly so you can start growing and putting Pinterest into place and putting all these other pieces into place, then definitely check out the Wellness Pro website system. And when you go to wellnessprowebsite.com, you can learn about the program and you can join the waitlist. And when you do that, you gain access to exclusive discounts and you will be the first to know when enrollment opens. Plus, when you join the waitlist, you're going to get my website planning guide to collect your thoughts and feel ready to create your website with me inside of WPWS when doors open. So go to that link. It's in the show notes as well, and learn more and put your name on the waitlist. And I thank you so much for listening today. I hope you got a lot out of today's conversation and are left feeling inspired. And I can't wait to check in with you on the next episode of The Growth Show.